Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of A Handful of Hope. I am so happy and grateful to have Sean with us here today, who was born in Taiwan in 1970 and came to the USA when he was 14, which is 1984. He started the Purist Group on September 7th, 2012. Purist has been working with the following brands: Michelin USA, Nitro Tire, Yokohama Tire, Leno's Garage, Canyon Filter, AM, Meguiars Wax. I think I probably said that name wrong, Sean. Meguiars Wax, Mother's Wax, Adams Polish, Petersen Museum, Rowe Foundation, and many more. Some of the cities Purist Group works with are Monte, City of Industry, Puente, Habra, and Long Beach. Purist Group currently supports the following agencies: the Los Angeles Food Bank, LAPD, LASD, LAFD, and the Long Beach PD. In addition to being the founder of the Purist Group, Sean is a board member for the City of Industry CRIA board, a board member for the Industry Sheriff Youth Activity League, and a board member for the Sheriff Youth Activity League, the vice president of sales and marketing for the Tiger Express. Sean, you are a busy guy, and I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely, man. Hey, Sean, I'm really grateful you're doing this because I think that you have such an incredible story about taking something that you enjoy, something you're passionate about, and turning it into such an amazing charitable piece. And I'm hoping maybe you can give us a little background before we get into what Purist Group is and what it's all about. So you come to the USA when you're 14 years old, and you get your first job, you're 15, you're working at an ice cream place, and then you actually leave home, you said, when you're 17. And when did giving really become part of who you are in your life?
So, of course, I have a lot of friends that influenced me from before, and they're the big givers in the community. And so, but at the time, like I said, when I was younger, I don't understand why giving is such an important part in a person's life until recent decades. So I'm 50 this year, so I don't understand the meaning of helping others about maybe 12, 13 years ago. Of course, that's when. Sometimes you have a solid group of friends. They will actually mentor you and help you and lead you onto the right directions. So I met a couple of guys that they're really into giving. It's kind of like going to a job that you know nothing about a job. You gotta have a good boss that I say, this is how you do it. This is how you scoop up the ice cream. This is how you make a profit. And later on, when you get older, you might own an ice cream shop, right? Mm-hmm. So same thing, doing charity, you have to understand what's your product? What group of people that you're trying to influence, and why are you doing it? Are you doing it for a lot of people doing it for the cloud, too? Are you doing it for the fame, or doing it because I have a foundation? What's your purpose, real agenda that you want to do it? So, of course, influence from friends and mentors are very, very important at that point. When I was younger, also I was abused as a kid by both my parents, and that kind of makes me more focused on helping kids, because kids are 100% innocent. Like I said, we as adults, we have choice. We can choose today to go sleep on the street, or to do drug, or not to do drug. When I was 17, I ran away from home. I have nothing but a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, because that day was a very bad day for me, because when I was a kid, I was abused by my dad since 5 until 14. So at 14, my dad doesn't want me anymore, so he got rid of me. So that's why I left Taiwan and came to the United States. When I came to the United States, from 5 to 14, my dreams to meet my mom. I figured my mom was going to be able to save me away from my dad's abuse. And when I met my mom, at first of course, it was okay. A hug and kisses. A few months down the road, she told me, like, I don't really want you. And that's why I left you when you're 5. And from there on, I came here when I was 14. I ran away from home when I was 17. The next 2.5 years become pretty crazy for me, because I couldn't digest it. Why is my whole life is trying to meet my mom, and my mom doesn't want me? She never physically abused me. My dad was the physical one. But because you anticipate, you have so much hope to see her, she basically just smash your hope into pieces and just throw it back in your face, telling you that I really don't want you, and that's why I left you. But your dad paid me a lot of money, and that's why we're taking care of you. That was a big shock for me. Really, really big shock. And plus, of course, she was drinking a lot of alcohol at the time, and she was on a lot of prescription drugs for high blood pressure, heart attack, and a bunch of other stuff. So I absolutely have no confidence. I hate the environment I was in. And I don't know where I picked up the courage just to stand up and walk away. So I just decided to like, that's it. This is the environment. I can no longer live in this environment, and I just have to get out. So without notifying any of them, I basically just walk away. One day I just decided to walk away and stop sleeping in the park. Then back in the day, there's no cell phone, there's no pagers. So my friend, let's say, assume I'm gonna go play basketball with you tomorrow. I never showed up. Never let you know. And a few days later, I never call you. You're gonna be like, something's wrong with Sean. Let's check on him. So a lot of my friends start calling my mom's house. My mom told him that he walked away. It's just, then my friends started went out searching for me and found me in the park. And that's when I started to live in a garage with one of my friends. Actually, live at one of my friend's garage on his couch. From there on, later on, I started looking for a job. Work at McDonald's, work as a busboy, work as a waiter. Just whatever means I can to make money, from there on until where I am today,
Sean, what is it about you? Because I think that's such an incredible story. And I feel like so many people would have gone a different route than you. They would have taken that abuse and they would have used it as a chip on their shoulder about why life is cruel, why life's unfair, and why they ended up going a completely different path. But you went through that abuse and you turned it into something where you've now built this amazing platform of giving. What is it about you that, was there like a conscious choice you were making with that, where you were saying, I'm not going to let this define my life? Was it the people that you had around you? What is it?
So, to be honest, when I ran away from home, I hang around with the wrong crowd because I have a lot of anger inside of me. Anger is like, you feel abandoned. You gotta know I'm 50. So when I was 20, I'm definitely not mentally healthy like I am right now, right? So I've been abused, I've been abandoned. There's no way you're gonna walk out of that situation and go, hey, I'm gonna pick myself up and let's do this, And plus I have no religious belief. I have friends, but we're about the same age. We're 17, 18-year-old kids. What can we do, right?
Yeah.
So I used to fight a lot on the street. I just start stuff for no reason. What changed me was actually, I had a first mentor. He was my boss. So I actually need money, right? So $2 minimum wage is $2.25, $2.45 an hour, whatever. Barely surviving, or $2.75. But you can Google in 1987, 88 was the minimum wage back then. It was no more than $3, I think. Every time I remember when I working McDonald's, every time the salary adjustment is 5 cents, 10 cents, or 25 cents. That was the increment. So I work in McDonald's, but the problem is they don't give you a full 8-hour schedule. Like 9 o'clock at night, you have to work at 2 a.m. because you got to clean up. It's called a closing. You have to clean it up and do stocking because all the inventory comes in at night. You have to move them from the truck back into your fridge, and so I need to find a real job. So I went out and looked for a job. But the problem is I ran away from home. I only have a high school degree. So I wasn't even going to college at all. So I was looking for regular, I went to factory to work we carry bag of cement, on our back. And also the funny thing about it, I was working with hazardous material. Now I learn what I know now. Oh my God, that company should get shut down a long time ago. There's no mask, there's no protective gear. I was carrying corrosive stuff on my back. I was sitting like this close to a huge power amplifier. It's crazy. But so I found this job as a forklift driver and delivery boy. I decided to apply for it. So salary was $1,100 a month. At the time, it was a lot. Think about it, $1,100 a month compared to $3 an hour. So, but it's pretty far. It's at LAX. And at the time, my only transportation was an 80cc Honda scooter. So technically, you couldn't take the freeway. And also back in the day, there's no 105 freeway to the airport. So every day I would take local street, and there's no navigation. You have to look at, I don't know if you know, there's a thing called Thomas Guide. It's a big book of a map. You have to look through local street, and every stop you open up. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make a left at the next one. Just and just to find your way to get to your first interview. Then for like next few months, when I finally I got to the interview. I got a job as a delivery boy and forklift driver. Then and I was riding my scooter, 80cc scooter, to work every day. Rain or shine. But that was sometimes I think back, that was a very good time of my life. So my first boss, his name Nick. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago. He's like my real father. So he teach me, you gotta know, I was a really bad kid. So I was just a lot of anger issue. I had a fight with people in the office. I smashed things around, but he should have fired me a long time ago. So, but he never did. He say, because to save money, I used to buy a 12-pack of hot dog. I think it was like $1.29 at a time, but you just put in bun, just eat it. So, the place that I rent was $100 something a month, 125, 150. It's basically just a room with one twin bed. And I finally saved up enough money to buy a microwave, which is, at the time was quite expensive. I think it was like $150 or something like that. But that was an investment. I bought that. The first money I saved was I bought that in a fridge, a small fridge, So I buy cheese and ketchup and a lot of hot dogs and a lot of buns, and just puts in there. Those are just what I eat every day, and spam and instant noodle,
Wow.
And yeah, that's what I did. I had a microwave, and that was basically my whole setup. That's just a place where I go sleep and take a shower and go back to work every day. So yeah, when I was going to fight with other staffs, he didn't just say, "Hey, you're fired, you're this and that." He actually called me over and told me what not to do. Later on, he sees that I'm not very healthy, and he actually started bringing me lunch every day, and he treated me like his own son. I didn't start appreciate it until I get older. At first I was like, "Well, why you do this for me? I don't need your food." I'm just being a douchebag. I said, the older I get, I go like, wow, people like that are extraordinary. They really, he influenced me the most. He gave me love. He gave me love that I don't have that kind of love for my own parents. And you gotta know, on top of that, I've been having fights with staffs in the office and smashing up computers and stuff like that. If I have staff that works for me like that, bye-bye. There's just no question. And he
loved you through that.
Yeah, and yeah, he changed me. So that has a lot of influence on my life. Huge amount of influence. Yeah.
So that's so incredible. So you go through, you leave home, you have this abusive upbringing, and then you're navigating the image of you on your little scooter with the big Thomas guy that cracks me up. We're trying to navigate through the streets of LA.
Yeah.
To the job, and then you're still in this kind of bad crowd. You are acting up at work, but you have this guy who just chooses to love you, chooses to mentor you, chooses to look at you. And then so at some point now you start to get things going, and then you end up forming an affinity for cars. You get into cars. Like how does that all come into play?
So of course, a few years after that, I started upgraded from an 80cc scooter I bought for a few $100 to a bigger bike. Buy motorcycles too cheaper than car, don't get me wrong. So I bought a used bike for about like $1,000 something. It's a 600cc motorcycle. Back in the day, there's no helmet law, so we're riding without the helmets. It was cool because my whole life I love motorcycles. I think till today I still do. I think it gives you a sense of freedom. And my first bike, a big bike, was a Honda CBR 600, and bought that bike. I bought that bike without knowing how to ride a clutch manual bike. It was pretty crazy because so I rode that slowly. Then I started falling in love with speed, motorcycle speed, Then we started riding it faster and faster. And then I started racing motorcycle, believe it or not, little down the road. So from there on, that motorcycle, my relationship with motorcycle and speed. Later on, of course, after I retired from racing motorcycle, which I had two major crashes on racetracks that almost killed me. One's at 140 miles an hour. The other one was like 110 something.
Wow.
Both on racetrack. Yeah, my whole body was broken into pieces. So later on I said, nah, I think I better just stay away from motorcycle a little bit. I'm still paying for the price today because it's just when the weather changes, it's so painful. Then I decided to just go learn how to drive cars. So one night I was out driving cars. I bumped into a bunch of car guys in the canyons. They were driving, and just from my racing motorcycle background, I couldn't keep up. I was like, wow, people can do that with cars. It's pretty amazing. So finally, I would go to the same spot day after day, night after night. And finally, I got to meet that group of people and start talking to them. So that's how I got into cars, driving cars. So basically, I went out and bought exactly the same cars that they have, which is a very low horsepower car. It's like 80 horsepower at the time. It's called a Toyota A86. And I bought that car and started driving with them. And that's when my passion for cars started coming in, Yeah. And then from there on, and leads to, I started about maybe 16, 17 years ago when I was in 30-ish, when I was making comfortable money, and I started doing some hardcore racing for cars, doing time attacks, doing drifting, and from there on, then got involved in the car world, and fell in love with cars ever since then. I still have a lot of love for motorcycle. Just believe it or not, my favorite bike right now, it's actually not a sports bike. It's actually, Honda. Honda actually heard my story. They gave me a motorcycle.
Did they really?
Yeah. So it was on a national campaign. It's called Earn Your Wing. So it's like angel earning the wings.
Oh, dude,
so
awesome.
Yeah, it was a surprise campaign. So what happens? They just like what you're doing. They interview me on spot. They have the camera on. Talk about Purist. Talk about yourself. And because I get invited now to a lot of different car events to drive the car, and people want to film me and talk about the car. Say, how do you feel about our car? How do you feel about our products? I figured something like that, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the shoot, three ladies stood up and say, "We're from American Honda. We heard your story. We know about you, and what you have done is extraordinary. We have this program called Earn Your Wing, so we would like to give you a Honda Going. A Honda Going is it's a $35,000 motorcycle. It's like a Rolls Royce. It's like, have you seen those big bike with the luggage and with the stereo system and everything? And that's my favorite bike now. It's like
that's incredible.
Yeah, and Honda. I mean, I'm not plugging Honda, but look at their commercial. They don't talk about car specs. They talk about the helpful Honda people. They go out and help other people, And so when you see Honda as a brand, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I love that brand. They're contribute back to the community." So again, it's just me and Honda.
So Sean, I want to get into now Purist Group. So what is Purist Group? So you went from motorcycle racing. You wisely walked away from it after 2 crashes. One near-death experience wasn't enough. It took you 2. You learned the lesson. You go to cars, and now you fall in love with the car world, and then you create Purist Group. So just what is Purist Group, and what was it initially, and then what has it evolved into today?
Okay, so originally Purist started with a bunch of car guys. We have maybe, in my group at the time, about maybe 40 people that's hardcore into cars. It's my closest friend. But we love driving, but a lot of them inside of that group of people, they don't have access to a lot of information on the tire information, suspension setup, right? Back in the day, the car people always has a missing link. Like you want to find out, even for you want to find out something. You want to build a car. Let's say you want to build a Tacoma truck. You have to ask a lot of people who has already done it. Then they might not even do it right. So what kind of lift kits you use? What kind of suspension? What kind of supercharger? What kind of tire? What kind of lights? What kind of bed liner or tonneau cover you use that won't leak? This type of things. So what if we can have a platform? Okay, this is like 12 years ago that I can get you in there. You can talk to the people who make those products. Let them tell you what's the benefit of using this, and without any commercial reason, right? So if a commercial reason means, if I want to sell you this, I would do whatever to tell you that this thing's so great for you. This will make your hair turn black and overnight type of thing, and that's just people trying to sell your product. For people that makes the product, most likely they will tell you, so this is my benefit of my tire compared to similar size to other people. There's less noise, there's more tractions, this longevities might be better, or this is the difference between my lights and other people's lights. You know, you get an idea directly from the horse's mouth. So at the time, I know the driver side of things. I also know people who manufacture the parts. So that's when the Pure started, was like integrated both into together. It's like a closed group that you get access to information and makes your car a better driving car or better overall car by using different products on there. So that's how Pure started, purely as a very hardcore car guys. How do you say it? Not really a form, but just association. You know, later I found out more and more people coming in, and they're all they're all major industry business owner. And I decided to do our very first toy drives back in the days. And, you know, but of course, believe it or not, the first toy drive is not really my idea. It was actually, you know, our mutual friend's good idea, you know, and he started with Charles White similar years. Then he goes like, oh, I want to do a toy drive, you know, and that's when we did it. And it was such a big success. A lot of car people come. But we've been doing other stuff prior to that for disaster relief and stuff like that. So I found out there's a good group of synergy people that willing to offer the resource to help out for a good cause. And that's why we start doing hurricane relief. We start doing helping out the homeless. We start helping out the kids, doing back to school backpacks. We start doing the toy drive. Toy drive become our regular thing for the past 9 years. You know, that's our tradition. Then we start helping the local police. You know, from there on, you know, every year we donate 3,000 backpacks fully packed with stuff, and that's 3,000 kids going back to school. That's pretty awesome. And right now we start doing prom dresses and prom shoes. I never had so many. Yeah, I never saw. You'd be surprised how many kids they want to go to prom. I'm the one of those kids. I want to go to prom. I can't because I got my mom that doesn't want to give me the money to go for it. Prom are expensive. Think about it.
Yeah.
See, look, if you have a kid now, or he or she wants to go back to prom, shoes, well, $40-$50, clothing, $100, you know, then the pictures, right? Transportation, the bare minimum is $400-$500.
Wow.
To go to prom. Yeah.
Sean,
think about
how many toys would you estimate that you guys have collected and then distributed to kids over the years now?
every year right now, minimum we collect is probably about 12 to 13,000 pieces. On a good year, we have 28,000 pieces.
Wow.
So the difference is a lot of people collect those toys. They just give it to like one agency, say we're done, and they post on social media, say, "Oh, we did it! We did a big toy drive," and they usually ended up one single kid gets like 5-10 toys. They just trying to do it to get you know the fame of it. You see it for what we do is. For Purist, we don't take cash donations. We don't take merchandise donations. So all the events and all the costs and all the everything that has cost comes out from my pocket. I never get money from anybody else, right? I just decide to buy one of these toys a year or buy a little bit. You know, I don't really need that many cars. So that money I save able to use it to help the community do so much greater good. You know, So we hand deliver almost every single toys out to all the kids. So that's my fulfillment now. Every year, my best time is Christmas. I'm really like Santa Claus. You saw my Instagram, we go like, Instagram is just a small part of it, trust me. And there's certain area we go, we can't even film. They don't allow us to film. Like orphanage, they don't want the kids to be on. We only film maybe like 1/10 what we're doing, you know, because certain people just don't want to be on camera, which is, we have to respect that. Go to their houses, go to neighborhoods. Central truck with the police escorted. They light up the siren, and all the kids start coming out. It's funny. They light up a siren, adults run away, the kids running out. Seriously, it was kind of funny. This year, I don't know about this year, but this year's tough. This year and next year, I gotta take you on this. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'd love to. You know, Sean, I shared this with you beforehand. You're seriously you're one of my heroes. Your social media posts are some of my absolute favorite to see. Like every time I see them, I am literally moved to tears by them because I just see the generous and the compassion in your heart, generosity in your heart. And like, I see how much you hustle with it and how much you work and how much you put in and how many, you know, I've watched the chronicles of days where you're going from place to place to place to place, passing out toys. And living in Southern California, knowing Southern California traffic, I know that's not as
Yeah.
simple as hopping in the car and just going down the street to the
Oh, no,
grocery
it's not.
store. That you're logging
Yeah.
in hours and hours in between bumper to bumper traffic to do these types of things, and to see that you continually evolve it from not just toys but backpacks to prom dresses to to doing benefits for disaster organizations to all these other things. I think it's so incredible, and the reason I so appreciate you and your story is because your story has the ability really to be just about anybody's story. You know, to go from an abusive home, running away at 17, sleeping on the park, falling in with the wrong crowd, you know, working for below minimum wage, riding some old bike to navigate around town just to go to a job that was far away, to being in a job that you were not adjusting well, so you're picking fights, you're destroying property, but you find that person who finds love in you, believes in you, and then you go and you're finding these other people to mentor you along the way. It's just so absolutely incredible to hear that. So Sean, you know, in the interest of time, I have so much more I want to ask you, but what is, I'm going to ask you two final questions. What's next for Purist? How do you see Purist Group growing in terms of where you're going to reach? I know you mentioned the prom stuff and everything. Like, what else do you have a bigger vision for what kind of giving you want to do? And then the second piece I want to ask you is just a final question is for people watching and listening right now who have something they're passionate about, who have wanted to do more, who have wanted to give back, who want to pursue charitable endeavors of their own. What's the best way for them to begin?
Okay. So first question is, Purist been around for almost a decade now. We help a lot of people. I'm 50 this year, so I have a lot of, Purist is not just myself. You got to know, my concept on living and helping others, the influence of, you know, gets it like you, right? So if I would call you, say, come out and I need some diaper for the kids, you would send it over. So people understand my purpose and what I want to do with Purist now. So we have no problem getting resource. But now today I'm 50 years old, and I got to prepare Purist for one day I'm no longer here. Who's going to run Purist? How is it going to go? So we actually are slowly doing that reorganization of Purist and make possibly making a foundation and start influence the next generation of people to have them start leading Purist when I'm no longer here. You know, Purist right now, you got to know, is not just an organization in the United States. We actually in Asia, in Taiwan, which is where I'm from, constantly helping other people. You know, remember we were sending toys to Tibet, to the monks. We're sending toys to orphanage in Taiwan constantly, and things like that. The ideas about Purist, it's not so much about organization. It's a mindset. You know, today you and me walk down the street, we saw a dog on the street suffering. Normal people would help the dog to say, hey, let me try to save the dog, see what happens. Now let's think about it as a human being. Doing what we're doing right now, it's a simple basic as a human being. You know, I really don't, this first question and second question I'll answer together, because why I think what I'm doing is because I have the time and ability to do it, you know. And then what, if you have the time and ability to do it, then why don't you? A lot of stuff that we're doing right now is not require a lot of money. You know, sometimes require 1 or 2 phone calls. You know, let's assume you want to help people get 10 diapers. Call 10 people. Make a commitment to yourself. Then go pick up the diaper and send it over yourself. You know, you all started from there. I never anticipated Purist become such a. We never pay for advertising. We never pay for any followers, anything. Everything is very natural. You know, because I believe that's the way it should be. We never want to be popular because of what we're doing. You know, we're very popular now. We're very well known because we're doing the right thing, and people have no bones to pick. You know, it's 10 years now. If you're doing it for the wrong agenda, people will start, those guys are doing it for the, you know, different reason. People will know. So be pure in your heart and do the right thing. That's just that simple. It's simple. It's a simple fact. A lot of people tend to forget. You know, when we're born as a kid, we don't have that much crazy thoughts. This is a good guy. That's a bad guy. No, we never label people when we're a kid. You know, 5 years old, 10 years old, you're not going to be able to know, oh, I don't think that guy's a good guy. No, we treat everybody the equal. I want to bring the mindsets of people to that stage and make sure they're helping people because they're people, not because, you know, a lot of people want to help people because they want something else out of it. But the only thing to be a purist is about helping other people without expecting anything out of it, just because you could, you know. So that kind of links up the first and second questions. So future of Purist, yes, this is the first year I thought about turning Purist into a foundation. But again, we never fundraise. So I turned the foundation simply for formality reason, because if I die one day, I can donate, you know, I have a lot of cars, right? I have like a lot of cars. So maybe I'll sell part of them and the proceeds donated into my own foundations and continue to run even though I'm not here. You know, we have a lot of moderators that spend their time voluntarily. We have about 10 people on about, globally, we have about maybe 12, 13 people. That's what when you see, they all volunteer the time. Every time we have events, 10,000 people coming. You know, myself, not able to manage that. Like, it's a lot of they all offer their expertise, they offer their trucks, they offer their own time, they offer their warehouses to create this Purist logistic network and to help Purist to thrive and serve his agenda. You know, I have a very good friend, his name Jackie, he's next door. His warehouse is refrigerated, not refrigerated, it has temperature control. So a lot of food product right now will come in. We're still bringing food product today. He's sending out his own truck to pick it up for me and put it back in his warehouse with no charge. And he's paying for his own gas, he's paying for his staff, I'm using his warehouse space. And this is the type of people you want to associate yourself with. But it doesn't just come like that. You know, if I don't know you, you don't know me. I go, hey Jesse, I want to use your space. I want to use your home without paying you. What do you think? You're gonna be like, I don't even know you. But after you start your reputation on the market is good, then people would be more than willing to help you, because I believe people's inside their heart, they still have a lot of goodness within them. Sometimes it just got layered up because they encounter so many crabs out there. They have to protect themselves on that layer to come out. But deep inside of us, if you look down inside, without the fancy clothing, without our circle of surrounding of rich and famous people, we are the simple us, you know? Yeah. That's what being pure. The people say, be pure, be pure. That's what being pure is all about, you know? Nobody was born evil. Zero. I don't think anybody, when they're infant, they're born from a kid. They're like, the first word they go like, I'm gonna go and shoot somebody. No, it's like nobody. You know, people are innocent and kind when they started. Means their life, their influence on the life, how they encounter in life later on influence they become a good person or bad person. And we simply gonna try our best to help those person to come back and see the good in themselves. That's what Purist is all about. Goes back to second questions. You just have to be very clear on your agenda. If you're really, really solid on your agenda that you really wanted to help people, people will see it. People will see it. People will start jumping in and help you. You know, Purist right now, US alone, we have 8,000 members. We select them. We don't let anybody come in. We're very, very carefully selecting every members. And you cannot buy our stickers. Most people would love to sell stickers. People ask for stickers. We don't give them out. You have to come to our charity event to earn that sticker. I'll give you the sticker for free. I'll give it myself to you for free. Just thank you for being part of it. But you have to be at our charity events. So now that become a hot thing. People like, it's like some people collect T-shirts. Like, oh, I went to this event, I collect this T-shirt. Oh, I went to Coachella, I have the Coachella T-shirt. Yeah. So now people want that Purist sticker to be on the card. They want to show they participate in a charity event. They earn that stickers. So, you know, sticker cost me 25, 30 cents each. You know, every guy that come in, I give him 2 or 3 stickers, like $1. So let's say we have 100 cars show up, it's $100. But that $100 of 100 people showing up, the toys we get, the diapers, the supplies we get, oh my God, it's tens of thousands of dollars. And they're proud to put that sticker on their car. And when they put that sticker on the car, they go to event, they go to car community, people look at it and go, wow, you have that sticker on that. You know, and everybody's proud of it to put that sticker on there. That's why you never want to sell it. People say, why don't you sell it? And this is better, you know, small money in exchange for big favors, you know.
Sean,
So that's it.
Dude, that's incredible. Everyone, what an inspiring guy this is. I think that there's so much that we can glean from this, from maybe you hear some of your own story in it, coming from humble beginnings, running away from home, dealing with the idea of being homeless, falling into a rough crowd, making poor decisions, to realizing that you have a choice in what path your life goes, and to follow that life choice, to follow that path, and to start to, you know, there's a couple of key things too in here, not just for the charity thing, for business and life, finding mentors, surrounding yourself with people who take interest. And then you heard what he said. He kept going back over and over and over again, asking people, getting to know, becoming a familiar, leading from a place of service and value, and then turning it into this amazing organization now that's delivered tens of thousands of toys to kids all over the world, who's diversifying into backpacks for kids, over 3,000 backpacks fully loaded every year, prom dresses, everything else. And Sean, knowing that he's the humble guy he is, I don't even think that's probably a fraction of everything that they do. You know, we didn't even get into what he does with the different law enforcement organizations and all these other things. There's so much good stuff this guy's doing, and he articulated why. It's about being kind, being a good human being, being a decent human being, doing the right person. You know, so often in life, we go through life with the anticipation and, well, what's in it for me if I do this? Versus just considering for a second of how can we choose we instead of me? How can we choose to give? How can we choose to be kind? Imagine if everyone woke up that day and had the notion of, how can I be a better human being today? How can I give to someone else's life? How can I be the light for someone else? How can I be the inspiration for another human being? What kind of world that would be? Yeah, I love what Sean said, and I share the same belief that nobody was born evil. We weren't born bad, that we learn it. And just the same as we may learn those types of things or learn to do bad things, we can also learn to give more, to be more generous, to be more kind, to be more loving, to do the right thing. And I think Sean's story speaks loudly to the notion that if it's on your heart to do it, to do it. Don't let the other ideas of this or this or this or this to stop you. You know, it's the small things every day that really make the biggest difference down the road. And I mean it when I say it. Sean is seriously one of the most inspiring people I've followed on social media. It's because it's not just because of what he does, it's because of who he is. And you can see that in just evidence in how he shows up here. So Sean, this has been incredible, man. Thank you so much for sharing. What a blessing this has been. And yeah, dude, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, buddy. See you soon.
We'll see you next time, everybody, on another edition of A Handful of Hope. Bye-bye.